All right, what's up, droners, and welcome to this edition of Droner News. And of course, as always, we have some really interesting things like Google sparring up with Facebook, people going to jail for flying drones, and much more. Let's get in. First and foremost, I didn't say it in the intro, but I'm sure you guys were thinking it. Yes, DJI just announced a new drone, and yes, it looks pretty dope. DJI is officially going both feet into the industrial zone world with the M200. And the M200 looks pretty impressive. My favorite feature of this thing is that it can fly two cameras at the same time. So you can actually have like a 4K cinema lens on this, like the, I don't know, the 5S, X5S, and also the thermal camera. Like you could also put like a zoom camera on it. Like you could do a lot of things at the same time, and you can mount the cameras on top of the drone. This is a typical quadcopter, so it looks pretty big. It looks kind of like a Matrice 600, but just square, I guess. And it looks like it's gonna be really expensive. Like the stats are just crazy. Like, oh yeah, it's redundant systems with 2 batteries, 35-minute flight time. I already told you the camera like mounts to the top. It probably can carry a bunch of weight. And it's just, oh, I'm sorry, I lied. My favorite thing about this drone is this is the first DJI drone that they're touting can fly in any weather conditions. Yes, rain, snow, sleet, whatever. They didn't say sleet, they mostly just said rain. But either way, that's a really big deal to actually tout a drone that can fly in rain. I'd love to know how that technology works. I'm gonna be looking into it more, and I can't wait to see how incredibly expensive this is, so stay tuned. Coming in number 2, a pilot and photographer in Seattle who actually was like a professional drone pilot back in the 2015, way back in the day, had a bad day. So this easily would make the droner fail videos if I had found the video for it. Haven't found it yet. If you find it, comment it, and I'll love you forever. But back in 2015, a Seattle photographer and videographer was flying a drone, and he was a professional drone pilot, I assuming having his 333, and he was flying over a crowd of people at the Pride Parade and had a critical malfunction and crashed into the crowd. Hit 2 people, knocked one lady unconscious. I'm super curious to what kind of drone this was. Didn't specify, again. But either way, he claimed it was an accident. It's been in court for a while. He just now got sentenced. $500 and 30 days in jail. Now, personally, I would be like, yo, can I just pay more money not to go to jail? Because I don't ever want to go to jail. But it looks like he has to do both, and that's pretty horrible. But it goes as a lesson to show you that even if something is an accident with the best intentions, you're still flying with you're still putting people at risk if you fly over people or over crowds. It's obviously against the law, it's against Part 107, it's against the recreational rules, and it's just not a good idea to have this thing flying over people's heads that you're responsible for. So I would highly recommend that you don't do that and don't end up like this guy in jail. Coming in number 3, University of Buffalo and a Dr. Suma Chowdhury have been working together to develop a software that actually enables a drone of swarms to map and track an oil spill. I have a lot of mixed feelings about this story. There's a lot here. First of all, really cool technology. The drones work together to be able to map it so that they're not mapping over the same thing. You can detect between the edge of the water and the oil, or if it's just oil, or if it's just water. And they had to figure out a whole technical thing to be able to strip down all the cameras off of them, just put sensors on them and make it so they could talk to each other, so they could fly long enough to be able to give comprehensible data to the people. Huge technological advancement, really big deal. Super proud of them for being able to put this together. Now on the other side, I'm like, yo, like, it's so inevitable that we're gonna have an oil spill that now we've put people on a full-time job to be able to track how oil spills spread. That just like hurts me. And I'm really sad that we're still doing things like that, because we know things like that are gonna happen, because we're never gonna spill oil because we're so dependent upon it. So yeah, this is a mixed emotion bag. But I'm gonna stick on the positive and say it's super cool that drones are, I guess, helping us figure out how we're destroying the environment. Coming in at number 4. Okay, I'm sorry. This is another one that should have made droner fails. Like, I don't even know how I would react to this. So in Manhattan, a lady got a horrible surprise. If you watch my droner fails ones, it's almost the exact same story. It was somebody else doing this on her 27th floor apartment when she's just chilling, and a drone just flew through her window and almost hit her. Through the window, through the wall. But yeah, I mean, like, this is, I don't even. But one thing that I would love to point out is that it is a GoPro Karma drone. Apparently they did it. So you can probably imagine how this occurred. It's lost control, bam, right through the window. But this person obviously didn't follow the rules and get their drone registered, because the FAA and the NYPD, who are still looking for this person, would have been done found him. And yeah, you definitely should register your drones, not for this particular instance. But if you didn't, and they do find out who you are, the penalties are much worse for for flying a drone unregistered than if they found out you're the person who crashed it through and you also had it registered. Then you just, oh man, my bad. Here's what had happened. But yeah, this person should hide under every rock. And last but certainly not least, I alluded to in the beginning, is that Facebook and Google both had programs that were like vying for each other to be able to get drones or fixed-wing drones that had solar-powered Wi-Fi that they could offer to areas that didn't have Wi-Fi. Both of them had these projects. Both of them did it. Google actually and Facebook were in a bidding fight in 2014 to purchase Titan Aerospace. Google won that, and in response, Facebook was like, well, screw it. We're just going to buy Aquila, which sounds a lot like tequila and spelled a lot like it. But either way, they were, Facebook bought that, and their program has had a few hiccups, like the crash drone, which I've reported on Droner News before, but they're going full force. They're like, no, we've learned from this, we're gonna do this. And Google's closing their doors. They're just done. They're like, we're done. Facebook, you got it, you want it, whatever. I really like this program because I believe that the internet is the ultimate equalizer, as in like information is power, more information you can give out, even though the information that Facebook is giving out with these drones is censored, you know, it's like educational stuff, and then of course the use of Facebook. Either way, some information is definitely better than none, and I think this is a good program. Hats off to you, Facebook. I'm so sorry if you lost Google. Droners, thank you for watching this edition of Droner News. And if you want to see our welcome video, because it is one of our dopest videos, you should click here. Or if you want to see more lists like or Droner News videos, because they're just absolute fire, you should click here. As always, we really appreciate your support and showing that support by subscribing, because that is what allows us to do it. Or you can check out our Patreon page because it's also really dope. And do me a favor and make sure that, as always, you stay fly.